Greetings, vloggers, bloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. I know we're a little late. Better late than never, as they say. It's been a busy week, and I'm finally getting to the end of a point where I can actually stop doing what I need to do, and still a lot of stuff needs done, but I'm at a point where I can stop and put this week's vlog together. It's been a busy week. A lot of things going on. I've actually been back to the gym probably, I think, over a week, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not real sure, but and I've been walking a lot too. It's been a busy couple of weeks, and Thursday we had my employer had their open house, and ribbon cutting for their new building, and that was definitely a remarkable but busy event. We had three events in one day, and that was quite the event. So things are progressing, and you know, it's definitely different. There's new things that are going to be coming up. There's actually two things that are going to be happening, probably back to back or very near. So, there's a lot of new things going on. And plus, what I really want to get into today is, there is a reality in adulting. Sometimes you have to deal with things as an adult. And as an autistic person, it's you can sometimes have this sense of that you're always childlike, or that you things are never easy, and that we know that. But sometimes we have to do things that we may not like to do, and that's the same for whether you're autistic or neurotypical. But for autistic people it can be harder because things transitions, burnout, those sort of things, you know make it harder. And while there are many things I like to do, there is a reality that, some things just have to be done. And if you are, as progressed as far as I have been in life, and I'm in my late 30s, I'll be 39 here next month. There's a reality that, you're going to have to do things. And especially if you have learned those skills like cooking and cleaning and all those things, all the skills necessary to live on your own and be a independent person. If you want to be an independent person, it's not always about doing the things that you enjoy. And it's not always, sunshines and rainbows. You have to do laundry, you have to cook, you have to clean. Those are things you have to do. Um, Sometimes, they're hard to do, but you have to push yourself to do them. And sometimes people know you have to do them. And that could be another thing as a part of adulting. Sometimes people tell you things that either or that they think you need to hear, or because they know you, or there's things that happen, or that things that you're told that you may not either agree with or want to do. But in today's world, or any world where where there are expectations, you have to meet them to the best of your ability. And you can't, there shouldn't, I mean, if you can't as an autistic person, and then it's proven that you can't, then that's one thing. But if you are taught the skills and you have the knowledge and you have the insight of knowing what you need to do, then you have to do it. And it can't, you can't act like a child when you don't get the things that you don't want. It can be hard to sometimes hear things that you don't want to hear. And for the longest time in my life, that it can be a hard thing to digest. People think, there's often a stereotype with being autistic that, we don't want this and we're like spoiled little brats. And you know what? That can be very well true. But if you are taught how to manage yourself in situations where you need to do things as an adult and learn the skills that you need to learn how to adult, then there is no reason to be that bratty person. You can be the person that you have proven yourself to be. If you can prove yourself in a place that where you're learning these skills and if you need to learn them and if you have been taught these skills but you don't want to show it because you have this feeling or you have this disgust about something, then honestly there has to be a sense where you have to understand and accept the consequences that you are given in that retrospect. And even if you know there are things you don't want to hear, and and you may not agree with them, you need to be cordial about it. And that can be a hard thing because oftentimes as autistic people our emotions get in the way. Become passionate, and we let our anger and our sometimes even our anxiety get in the way of expressing ourselves. And sometimes when we express ourselves as autistic human beings, we don't we let the filter we everybody says about the filter, we don't put our filters on and we say things that cannot be politically correct, or they can come across in a very negative manner or inappropriate manner. And if it's even like swearing or even sentence enhancers as SpongeBob calls it, anything of that nature, it can come across in a very negative way, and your behavior can be shown. It can bring a representation to yourself. Now, if you have worked yourself through whatever way you are able to mask yourself autistically, or that you're able to manage your emotions, if you're taught those ways, then you need to put them to use. Because if you have a frustration or you have a feeling about something, and you have to learn how to properly communicate things in a way that works for you and not allow your emotions to get in the mix. It can be hard to do that. And it's very challenging at times. It can, it's just, and we feel passionate about things, or we don't like things sometimes, or we don't like to hear things sometimes. But sometimes they're honest, they're the truth. And that can be hard to understand. Sometimes it's just you have to learn how to manage yourself. And if you are a person who acts in a way around people and you can mask your feelings, it's sometimes learning. You have to learn. I have to learn. And this is something I have to learn, because if I'm if I express these on certain people, family or those who are not paid to have that place, or don't want to be in that place, then you're going to burn them out, and you're going to literally burn your bridge. You're going to lose that friendship or that that relationship, because you're airing out all your dirty laundry, or you're being angry, or you're taking your emotions out on this person. You're not acting the adult you can be because you feel safe. them. But in the same token, you're going to burn them out, and they're not going to want to be your friend. They're going to not know what to do to make you turn around and get in that mindset that you need to get in. If they're, it can be hard. And sometimes you have to learn how, better ways of managing your emotions so that they don't get out of control, and that they don't spiral on people to either burn them out or distance themselves from you, or even to the effect of you know getting yourself in having yourself receive consequences for your actions because you may not think before you act. That can be a hard thing, and that's not being able to manage yourself can be very difficult if you don't have the tools in your toolbox to do so. It can be the things that can affect your livelihood, or affect a friendship, or affect an establishment you go to. So those things can come across that way, and it can make you look less like an adult. And sometimes in life, there are norms and there are expectations that you must follow, whether you agree with them or not. And if you want to do that, that is fine. You have rights, but you have to learn, you have to accept within yourself that there are expectations and norms that if they are explained to you and they are clearly written, they must be followed. Sometimes we don't, and sometimes we're corrected on things, and that can be hurtful because we think we're doing the right thing, or we think we are, and it can be heard. It can be hurtful to be told something that you don't want to hear. And if you have to man up sometimes, or put that masking face on, and learn how to take criticism, and use that filter to learn how to best manage your emotions and not take it out on people who can, where things can get very can have a tension effect, and you could have received some consequences that are not, that you don't want. And I think sometimes we get near that line and we want to push and push and push and push some more. And sometimes that line's gonna break. And you're gonna learn, you're gonna get your consequence, or your whatever it's gonna be. And sometimes you just can't go back. And that can be something hard to understand. And once you can't go back, you're going to really hurt. You're going to hurt more than what you did in the previous action, because you can't go back. And now you have to figure out something for yourself. And you're just thinking these emotions, and they're just roller coasting, if that's even a word, um, they're spiraling out of control. And you're going to have to figure some way to you have to work with these skills. You have to learn, and I do too. But coping skills you need to have, because in these moments where things get elevated, or you're told something you don't want to hear, or you have to do things that are struggles for you, you have to learn how to cope in your own way. So, that is it in a nutshell. You have to be an adult. And if I want the privileges that I have of living independently and having a job, there are norms and expectations of that. And I have to learn that I have to meet them. And that means doing things that are not necessarily fun, or that I don't necessarily agree with, but there's reality, and you have to accept part of reality, and the norms and the expectations of life. It isn't all fun ride sometimes, and that is something that can be hard to accept, but I have accepted it. And that's just something that I have to accept. So I want to thank you for listening tonight. I appreciate all the likes. I see we got some more likes, and I do appreciate them. So be sure to subscribe. And if you haven't already, be sure to like me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Pinterest. If you haven't already, be sure to visit my website, www.dustinsdynastyusa.com. And lastly, you can visit my link tree. That handle is Dustin's Dynasty. Again, I want to thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.